The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the quiet human colony nestled on a green, rolling plain. Lyra, the alien princess, stood just outside the settlement, her silver eyes scanning the horizon. The place was peaceful, far different from the grand halls of her home world, where power and command ruled every breath. Yet here, something stirred inside her, a strange mixture of curiosity and caution. She had come in secret, disguised as a traveler from a distant star system. Her mission was delicate, to observe humanity up close, to understand what made them worth the Empire's concern. The Empire had long believed humans were weak, easy to conquer. They had not expected the human spirit to burn so fiercely beneath the surface. Lyra hoped to learn their true nature before her people made a grave mistake. As she moved through the narrow paths between simple huts, she noticed the humans going about their daily lives. They worked hard under the fading sunlight, tending gardens and repairing tools. Their faces showed lines of worry and hope intertwined. To an outsider, they seemed fragile and unremarkable, but Lyra sensed something deeper. Near the center of the colony, a group of children played with makeshift toys carved from wood and stone. Their laughter echoed softly, pure and free. Lyra's heart stirred at the sight. Despite their hardships, the humans held on to joy. It was a small, precious thing, one her empire had long forgotten. Suddenly, a harsh sound broke the calm. Distant alarms wailed, sharp and urgent. Lyra's head snapped toward the noise, her instincts alert. From the edge of the settlement came a flash of movement. Shadowy figures moving fast and without mercy. Raiders. A band of ruthless scavengers from a nearby system, known for their violence and greed, had chosen this quiet colony as their next target. The humans scattered, panic rising in their eyes. Lyra stepped forward, unsure whether to flee or help. She expected to see chaos and defeat, yet what followed surprised her deeply. A small group of humans, armed with simple weapons and unwavering courage, stood their ground. They did not flee or hide. Instead, they faced the attackers with fierce determination. One man, tall and broad-shouldered, shouted orders that echoed through the air. Women and even elderly villagers joined the fight, using every tool at their disposal. Lyra watched as the humans fought with skill beyond what she imagined possible for their technology. Their movements were swift and coordinated. Their will, strong. The raiders, confident in their superiority, faltered under the unexpected resistance. Within minutes, the attackers were forced to retreat, leaving behind stunned silence. The princess's breath caught in her throat. This was not the helplessness her empire had predicted. Humans were survivors. They bore scars of countless battles and hardships, yet each wound only made them stronger. Lyra felt a rising respect and a growing fear. That night, Lyra sat beside a small fire outside the village, listening as the humans shared stories of their past. They spoke of wars long ended, of lands lost and won, and of the unyielding hope that had carried them through dark times. Their words painted a picture of a species shaped by struggle and resilience. A young woman named Mara, the colony's healer, told Lyra about the great hardships humans faced on their home planet. She explained how they had learned to adapt, to turn weakness into strength. "We have no choice but to fight," Mara said softly. "Every day is a test, but we never give up." Lyra nodded, understanding more clearly the fierce heart beating within humanity. Her empire had dismissed humans as insignificant. Now she knew that underestimating them was dangerous. In the days that followed, Lyra moved through the colony with a new purpose. She watched the humans train, build, and prepare for threats that seemed never-ending. Their unity amazed her. The way they stood together, protecting not only their homes, but also their dreams. One afternoon, as the sun dipped low again, Lyra was walking near the edge of the settlement when a sudden attack startled her. This time, the danger came not from raiders, but from a creature unknown to her, large, fast, and wild. Before she could react, the creature lunged. In that moment, a human stepped forward with lightning speed, shielding Lyra from harm. The man's eyes burned with fierce intensity as he fought the beast using only a simple spear. With skill and bravery, he forced the creature to retreat. Lyra's surprise was clear. The humans did not rely solely on machines or weapons. They used their minds and bodies, their instincts sharpened by a lifetime of challenges. This raw, unpredictable power was unlike anything she had seen in the Empire's soldiers. That night, Lyra lay awake in a small hut lent to her by the humans. Her thoughts swirled with questions and doubts. What made these people so strong? How had they hidden this power from the galaxy's watchful eyes? Was the Empire ready to face a foe so fierce and clever? The princess understood her mission had changed. She was no longer just an observer. She was a witness to something extraordinary, a force that could shake the very foundation of the Empire's beliefs. As dawn approached, Lyra made a decision. She would carry this truth back to her people. But she knew it would not be easy. Many in the Empire would refuse to listen. Many would still see humans as weak. Yet the princess felt a new fire inside her, a determination to ensure that her empire did not repeat the mistakes of the past. Before leaving the colony, Lyra looked once more at the humans around her. Their faces, tired yet proud, reflected the endless struggle of survival. She felt a deep respect for their courage and an uncertain hope for the future. The stars above twinkled with cold light as the princess prepared to journey home. But now, she carried with her a secret that could change the fate of worlds. Humans were not just another species. They were a force, alive, fierce, and full of unexpected power. And the Empire had no idea what awaited them. The morning light filtered softly through the leaves as Lyra wandered deeper into the heart of the human colony. Each step brought her closer to the truth she sought, a truth hidden beneath the simple lives of these people. The village was alive with sounds of work and laughter, but beneath the surface, a powerful story unfolded. Lyra found herself drawn to a group gathered around a fire. An elder, his face weathered but sharp, told tales of the past. His voice carried the weight of years filled with hardship and survival. The humans listened intently, their eyes reflecting respect and understanding. They were not just survivors. They were shaped by their history. The elder spoke of ancient battles, of times when their world was nearly lost. Natural disasters, wars, and famine had tested their limits, yet each time the people had risen again, learning and adapting. Their strength was born not from machines or weapons alone, but from the lessons of endurance passed down through generations. Lyra was fascinated. These stories were not just memories. They were the foundation of a culture that valued resilience. She realized that the humans' true power came from their ability to face adversity and grow stronger with each challenge. This strength was quiet, but undeniable. Later, she met a young man named Joran, a farmer who also served as a teacher. He explained how humans used their minds to solve problems in clever ways. Tools that seemed basic to the alien eye were carefully designed to maximize efficiency. Every device had a purpose born from necessity. Joran spoke of teamwork and trust, vital elements in a world where survival depended on community. The humans shared resources, knowledge, and hope. Their unity was a shield stronger than any weapon. Lyra felt this spirit in every glance and gesture she observed. As the day passed, Lyra witnessed training sessions where young humans practiced combat techniques. Their movements were precise and quick, combining speed with strategy. The exercises were simple but effective, teaching them to think several steps ahead of any threat. One session caught Lyra's attention. A group used basic materials to create traps and defensive barriers. They were inventive, using the environment to their advantage. This creativity was unfamiliar to Lyra, whose people relied heavily on advanced technology. At night, under the vast sky filled with stars, Lyra sat with Mara, the healer who had welcomed her days before. Mara shared stories about the human body's resilience and the healing power of determination. She spoke softly about how emotional strength could mend wounds faster than medicine alone. Lyra realized that the humans possessed a rare combination of mind, body, and spirit working in harmony. Their ability to endure pain and loss, yet continue fighting, was a force beyond physical strength. This revelation unsettled her. How could a species so seemingly simple contain such complexity? In the quiet moments before dawn, Lyra reflected on what she had learned. The human's power was not a secret weapon or hidden technology. It was a way of life, a constant struggle to survive, adapt, and protect one another. Their history was written in every scar, every smile, every act of kindness. The next day, a council meeting in the colony drew Lyra's attention. Leaders and elders discussed recent threats and strategies. Their tone was serious, but hopeful. They planned not just for defense, but for the future, determined to build a lasting peace on their world. Lyra noticed that these people were not naive. They understood the dangers beyond their borders and prepared accordingly. They trained, gathered intelligence, and formed alliances. Their focus was sharp, their resolve clear. She approached one of the council members, a woman named Kira, who spoke with quiet authority. Kira explained that humans had learned to expect the unexpected. They had become experts at adapting to new situations quickly, turning disadvantages into opportunities. Kira's words stayed with Lyra. Adaptability was a powerful trait, especially against an enemy that underestimated it. She realized that the Empire's arrogance blinded it to this fundamental truth. Later, Lyra visited a workshop where humans repaired old machinery. The tools were worn and the parts scarce, but the people worked diligently. They found ways to fix and improve, with limited resources. Their ingenuity was born from necessity, and their perseverance was inspiring. One mechanic, an older man named Rolf, showed Lyra a device he had rebuilt. It was simple, but effective, designed to protect the colony from airborne threats. He explained how humans learned to use whatever they could find, transforming weaknesses into strengths. Lyra saw parallels to her own people, yet their approaches were worlds apart. While the Empire relied on overwhelming power and advanced weaponry, humans depended on heart, creativity, and endurance. This difference fascinated and worried her. As days turned into weeks, Lyra's understanding deepened. The human's resilience was not just physical, but also emotional and mental. Their will to survive was intertwined with love for their families, their homes, and their future. She observed moments of kindness amid hardship. Parents comforting children, neighbors sharing meals, friends encouraging one another. These small acts fueled the larger strength of the community. One evening, a storm threatened the colony. Fierce winds and heavy rain battered the homes. The humans worked together tirelessly, securing shelters and aiding the vulnerable. Their cooperation turned potential disaster into a manageable challenge. Lyra was moved by their determination. The storm was a test, but the humans faced it without fear. Their spirit shone brightest in the darkest moments. She understood then that this was the essence of human power. An unbreakable spirit forged through countless trials. It was a power that could not be measured by technology or numbers alone. As Lyra prepared to leave the colony, her heart was heavy but enlightened. She carried with her a new respect and a warning. The Empire's disdain for humans was a mistake that could lead to ruin. The princess looked to the stars, thinking of the Empire waiting for her return. She knew her message would be met with doubt and scorn. Yet she was determined to speak the truth. Humans were far stronger than they appeared. This knowledge was both a burden and a beacon. It could change the course of history, if only her people would listen. The night sky stretched endlessly above, filled with distant suns and endless possibilities. For the first time, Lyra saw humanity not as a weak species, but as a formidable force, a force that had already begun to change her own view of the galaxy. Lyra returned to the imperial capital with a heavy heart and a mind full of questions. The grand city, with its towering spires and gleaming ships, seemed unchanged, but she knew her world would never be the same after what she had seen. The humans, once dismissed as weak and simple, were far more complex and powerful than the Empire had ever imagined. At the palace, Lyra's arrival was met with ceremony, but the cold eyes of the council reminded her of the challenge ahead. The Empire's leaders were proud and stubborn, steeped in tradition and convinced of their superiority. To admit that humans might be a threat was unthinkable to them. In the council chamber, Lyra stood before the ruling elders. Their faces showed a mixture of curiosity and skepticism as she began her report. She spoke of the human colony's struggles and victories, of their history filled with pain and hope. Her words painted a picture of a species shaped by hardship, bound together by resilience and unity. The council members exchanged doubtful glances. One elder, tall and stern, interrupted her. "Princess, your tales sound like exaggerations. Humans are primitive, scattered across a weak world. How could they possibly match our power?" Lyra held her ground, refusing to let doubt silence her. "Their strength is not in numbers or weapons alone. It is in their spirit, their will to survive. I have seen them fight with courage and cunning, using every resource wisely. Underestimating them would be a grave mistake." Another elder laughed, dismissing her words as youthful naivety. "We have conquered countless worlds. Why would humans be any different? They are beneath us." The tension in the room grew, but Lyra's resolve did not waver. She knew the truth must be heard. "I ask only that you consider what I have witnessed. The human's power is real. Ignoring it could lead to disaster." Outside the chamber, whispers spread among the imperial court. Some saw wisdom in Lyra's warnings, while others clung to old beliefs. A small group of military leaders, however, plotted behind closed doors. They prepared for an invasion, confident it would be swift and decisive. Lyra felt the weight of isolation. Few believed her, and those who did feared speaking openly. She began to gather allies quietly, seeking those who understood the danger ahead. Among them was General Varric, a seasoned warrior who had faced many battles and respected truth above pride. Together, they studied the humans' tactics and technology, searching for weaknesses. But the more they learned, the clearer it became. Humans were unpredictable. Their strategies defied conventional logic, blending instinct with innovation. Meanwhile, preparations for war accelerated. The Empire's vast fleet assembled near the human system, weapons primed and ships ready. Commanders boasted of an easy victory, mocking Lyra's concerns. As the fleet awaited orders, Lyra stood before her allies. "This battle will be unlike any we have fought. Humans do not surrender easily. We must be ready for a fight that tests not just strength, but adaptability and heart." Her words resonated with those who listened. They knew that this war would challenge everything the Empire believed. Back on Earth, the humans sensed the looming threat. Leaders met in secret to prepare defenses. They spoke of alliances and plans, determined to protect their world. The contrast between the two sides was stark. The Empire relied on power and technology, confident in its dominance. The humans depended on unity, creativity, and an unbreakable spirit. The first ships of the invasion fleet entered orbit. The Empire's commanders expected little resistance. But the humans unleashed a barrage of defenses that caught the invaders off guard. Ships were damaged, formations broken. Human fighters moved with speed and precision, using terrain and surprise to their advantage. The battle was fierce and chaotic, unlike anything the Empire had faced. Lyra watched from the command ship, her heart pounding. The humans' courage and skill confirmed all she had feared and hoped. They were more than a nuisance. They were a force to be reckoned with. As the conflict escalated, Lyra's doubts grew. Could the Empire win a war it had underestimated? She feared that pride and arrogance might lead to ruin. In quiet moments, she reflected on the human strength. It was not just their weapons or numbers, but their ability to endure, adapt, and fight with heart. This combination made them dangerous and admirable. Lyra made a decision. She would do everything in her power to prevent unnecessary bloodshed. Perhaps, she thought, there was a way to change the course of history. The Empire had prepared for conquest, but the humans had prepared for survival. The coming clash would reveal who was truly strongest. The alien fleet descended upon Earth's orbit with a silent confidence that masked their growing uncertainty. From the command decks, officers barked orders, expecting an easy victory over what they still considered an insignificant species. Yet, as the first human defenses flared to life, that confidence quickly dimmed. On the surface, the humans sprang into action. Far from cowering beneath the looming threat, they revealed a level of readiness that surprised even their own leaders. Makeshift command centers buzzed with communication as soldiers coordinated defense efforts, blending age-old tactics with quick thinking. Human pilots launched into the sky, their small crafts weaving through the shadows of massive alien warships. They darted between missiles and laser fire, striking at weak points before slipping away. Their guerrilla style of combat was unfamiliar to the invaders, who were used to overwhelming power, not subtle cunning. On the ground, the people took shelter in bunkers and tunnels, but many volunteered to fight. Armed with simple weapons and fierce determination, they organized patrols and ambushes. Their knowledge of the terrain gave them a crucial advantage, turning forests, cities, and mountains into traps for the alien forces. Among the defenders was Joran, the farmer-turned-warrior, whose leadership had become a beacon of hope. He rallied his fellow humans with calm words and steady hands, inspiring courage even in the face of destruction. His strategies focused on unpredictability and resilience, forcing the enemy to adapt continuously. As battles raged across land, sea, and sky, the alien commanders struggled to maintain order. Their large ships, designed for mass destruction, found themselves vulnerable to these unexpected hit-and-run tactics. The humans used their environment to outsmart and exhaust the invaders. Lyra, watching from the Imperial flagship, felt a mixture of awe and dread. The humans' fighting spirit was undeniable, and their ability to improvise challenged every assumption she had known. Each successful defense chipped away at the Empire's pride and morale. One key moment came when the humans launched a surprise attack on the alien supply lines. Using a small fleet of repaired cargo vessels, they struck at the enemy's logistics hubs, crippling their ability to resupply and reinforce. This bold move shifted the momentum, forcing the aliens onto the defensive. The Empire's commanders, frustrated and desperate, ordered a brutal crackdown. They unleashed devastating weapons on civilian areas, hoping to break the humans' will. Yet, instead of fear, these attacks ignited deeper resolve. Communities united in grief and anger, turning sorrow into strength. Mara, the healer, worked tirelessly amidst the chaos, tending to the wounded and comforting the frightened. Her presence reminded the fighters why they continued to resist, for their families, their homes, and their future. Her compassion was a quiet force that lifted spirits. Despite heavy losses, the humans showed no signs of surrender. Each defeat was met with lessons learned and new tactics devised. Their leaders studied the enemy's patterns, identifying weaknesses and exploiting them with relentless determination. In the midst of this turmoil, Lyra sought out General Varric, hoping to find a way to end the conflict before it destroyed both sides. She proposed a daring plan to disrupt the alien command center, a strike that could cripple the Empire's control over the fleet. Varric listened carefully, recognizing the wisdom in her words. He agreed to assemble a small, elite team for the mission. Fighters skilled in stealth and precision. The success of this attack could turn the tide of the war. Meanwhile, the humans prepared for what could be their final stand. Leaders across the planet coordinated their forces, knowing the battle ahead would test every ounce of their strength. They trained harder, fortified defenses, and held fast to hope. Lyra trained alongside the elite team, learning their ways and earning their trust. She understood that this mission was more than a military strike. It was a symbol of unity between her and the humans she had come to respect. As the team launched into enemy space, tension gripped everyone involved. They moved silently through the darkness, avoiding patrols and sensors. Every step brought them closer to the heart of the Empire's power, and to a confrontation that could change everything. The humans and Lyra infiltrated the command ship, navigating narrow corridors and bypassing security with a mix of technology and wit. Their mission demanded courage and quick thinking, qualities they all possessed in abundance. At the core of the ship, they reached the control room. There, they deployed an advanced device designed to disrupt communications and navigation. As alarms blared, the team fought fiercely to hold their ground. Back on Earth, the alien fleet began to falter without orders. Confusion spread among the ranks as ships lost coordination and fell into disarray. Human forces seized the opportunity, pressing their advantage with renewed vigor. The battle shifted dramatically. What once seemed like an unstoppable invasion now looked like a desperate retreat. The humans' resilience, combined with Lyra's courage and insight, had created a turning point. Despite the chaos, the Empire's leaders refused to surrender. They vowed to crush the resistance at any cost, but the damage was done. The humans had shown that they would not be defeated easily. In the aftermath of the mission, Lyra reflected on the courage and strength she had witnessed. The human spirit was unlike anything she had known, a fierce flame that burned through darkness. The war was far from over, but hope had been kindled. Both sides had been changed by the conflict, forced to confront truths about power, unity, and survival. Lyra's heart was heavy with the cost of battle, but filled with determination. The path ahead was uncertain, but she was ready to face it, alongside those she now called allies. The stars above bore witness to a war that would shape the future of many worlds, and in the heart of it all, humanity stood strong, unbroken and unyielding. The morning sun bathed the battered cityscape in a soft, golden light, yet the air was heavy with tension. The battle had stretched for weeks, testing the limits of both humans and aliens alike. Lyra stood among the human fighters, her gaze fixed on the horizon where distant explosions marked the ongoing conflict. Each moment brought new challenges, yet the human spirit burned brighter than ever. Lyra had witnessed countless displays of human courage, but today was different. She sensed a change, a shift in energy that hinted at something greater about to unfold. It was not just the weapons or tactics that made humans formidable. It was their unpredictable will, their ability to find strength in unity and hope, even amidst despair. Joren, now a respected leader, gathered his team for a meeting in a hidden bunker beneath the city ruins. His face was marked with fatigue, but his eyes shone with determination. "We've faced hard times before," he said quietly. But this is the moment we prove who we are. The Empire expects us to break. They don't understand that our power lies within us, not in machines or numbers. Mara, the healer, sat nearby, tending to a young soldier's wounds. Her gentle presence was a reminder of the humanity that kept them fighting. Not just the desire to win, but the need to protect what they loved. Every scar, she whispered, tells a story of survival. As Joran outlined their plan, Lyra listened intently. The humans intended to strike back, with a series of coordinated attacks aimed at the Empire's command structures and supply lines. They would use guerrilla warfare, blending their knowledge of the terrain with swift, unexpected movements. It was a strategy born from desperation and ingenuity. Meanwhile, the Empire's forces regrouped in orbit. Commanders struggled to maintain order as human resistance continued to defy expectations. The invaders' frustration grew, and their attacks became more ruthless. They unleashed powerful energy weapons against human settlements, hoping to crush morale. But each assault only strengthened the resolve of the defenders. Civilians and soldiers alike rebuilt what was destroyed. Communities shared resources and strength, refusing to let fear win. Lyra saw in their eyes a fierce light that no weapon could extinguish. One night, beneath a sky heavy with stars, Lyra found herself alone with General Varric. The battle had forged a bond between them, built on mutual respect and shared hope. "Humans fight with a fire I never expected," Varric said. "It's not just their tactics, it's something deeper. Their will to live, to protect each other, is their greatest weapon." Lyra nodded. "It is a power the Empire has overlooked for too long. We must learn from them, or we will be destroyed." The next day, the human forces launched their surprise offensive. Small teams moved swiftly through enemy lines, sabotaging weapons and disrupting communications. Their strikes were precise and calculated, each one designed to weaken the Empire's hold. Lyra joined the front lines, her presence inspiring the fighters. She moved with them through the rubble and ruins, sharing their hardships and hopes. Her alien strength and knowledge complemented the humans' resilience and creativity. During a critical battle, the team faced a massive war machine, a towering structure bristling with weapons and shielded by advanced technology. Many would have seen it as unbeatable, but the humans saw opportunity. Using their environment, they set traps and lured the machine into narrow streets and collapsed buildings. Its size became a disadvantage. The machine's attacks were slowed and misdirected, while human fighters struck at vulnerable points. Lyra, armed with a plasma blade, led a team to disable the machine's power source. The fight was fierce and chaotic, with explosions lighting the darkened streets. Despite their fatigue, the humans pressed on, driven by the hope of victory. When the machine finally fell, cheers erupted among the defenders. It was a turning point, proof that the Empire's might could be challenged. The victory was not just physical, it was a symbol of human tenacity and unity. In the days that followed, the Empire's fleet began to withdraw. The cost of the war weighed heavily on their commanders, who struggled to understand how a species so underestimated could resist so fiercely. Back in the city, Lyra stood among the survivors, her heart full of admiration. The humans had endured loss and pain, yet their spirit remained unbroken. Their power was not in technology or sheer force, but in their ability to adapt, to endure, and to fight for what mattered most. Joran approached her, his face tired but hopeful. "We have shown them our true strength, but this war is far from over." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "Together, we will face whatever comes. Humanity's power is a force that can change the galaxy." The sun rose higher, casting light on a world scarred but alive. The battle had revealed a truth long ignored. Humans were not just survivors, they were warriors, creators, and protectors, a force unlike any other. Lyra knew that the story of this war would echo through time. It was a story of unexpected strength, of courage born from hardship, and of a spirit that refused to be broken. The Empire might have underestimated humanity, but now they had learned a lesson written in fire and hope, a lesson that would shape the future of countless worlds. The battle was far from over, but a new hope had taken root. Lyra, once an outsider, now stood shoulder to shoulder with the humans she had come to respect deeply. Her heart beat with a fierce determination, fueled by the courage she witnessed daily in the eyes of those who fought for their home. The alliance between Lyra and the human leaders grew stronger with each passing day. She shared her knowledge of the Empire's tactics and technology, revealing secrets that had long remained hidden behind walls of arrogance. In return, the humans taught her their ways. Lessons in resilience, adaptability, and unity. Joren, ever the steadfast leader, saw Lyra as a bridge between two worlds. He welcomed her presence, understanding that victory would come only through trust and cooperation. Together they planned a daring mission, a strike aimed directly at the Empire's command ship orbiting above Earth. The plan required precision and bravery. A small team of elite fighters, including Lyra and Joren, would infiltrate the massive vessel and cripple its control systems. Their success could disrupt the Empire's command and give humanity the advantage it desperately needed. Training began immediately. The team prepared for the unknown, honing their skills and learning to move as one. Lyra taught them alien combat techniques, while they shared their knowledge of Earth's terrain and guerrilla tactics. The blend of experiences created a force unlike any other. On the eve of the mission, the atmosphere was heavy with anticipation. Families said quiet goodbyes, and warriors steeled themselves for the dangers ahead. Mara, the healer, offered words of comfort and strength, reminding everyone that their courage inspired those who could not fight. As darkness cloaked the planet, the team boarded a stealth shuttle. The hum of engines was the only sound as they ascended into the starry void. Each member knew the risks, but the hope of turning the tide pushed them forward. Approaching the command ship, the shuttle slipped past patrols and sensors, guided by Lyra's intimate knowledge of alien technology. The massive vessel loomed ahead, a symbol of the Empire's might. Yet beneath its surface lay vulnerabilities waiting to be exposed. Once inside, the team navigated narrow corridors and evaded security with careful precision. Their movements were silent, deliberate, a dance of shadows and strategy. The tension was palpable. One mistake could spell disaster. Lyra led the group to the central control room. The door, guarded by advanced locks, required her alien skills to bypass. Inside, the hum of machines filled the air, alongside the sharp voices of commanders unaware of the intruders. With practiced hands, Lyra planted a device designed to disrupt communications and navigation. The countdown began, ticking away seconds before chaos would erupt. The team prepared to defend their position. Suddenly, alarms blared. Security forces flooded the corridors, forcing the team into a fierce battle. Blaster fire echoed as humans and aliens clashed in close quarters. Each fighter relied on training, instinct, and the bond forged through shared purpose. Joren moved with calculated strikes, his spear cutting through the confusion. Lyra wielded her plasma blade with grace and power, protecting her comrades. Despite exhaustion and injuries, their determination never faltered. Outside the ship, the Empire's fleet trembled as systems went dark. Confusion spread among commanders, and communication lines fractured. Without guidance, their formation weakened, making them vulnerable to human attacks. Back on Earth, human forces seized the moment. Fighters launched coordinated strikes, hitting the disorganized fleet with precision. Ground troops advanced on alien outposts, reclaiming territory lost in earlier battles. The tide of war shifted dramatically. What had once seemed a crushing invasion became a desperate retreat. The humans' unexpected strength and unity had turned the impossible into reality. In the aftermath, Lyra and the team escaped the command ship in a damaged shuttle, hurtling back toward Earth. Their mission had succeeded, but the cost was high. Wounds and loss weighed heavily on their minds, yet pride in their achievement shone through. The Alliance celebrated their victory cautiously, knowing the Empire would not surrender easily. But hope blossomed in hearts that had long been battered by war. Humanity and Lyra had proven that together they were unstoppable. Lyra's view of the galaxy had transformed. No longer did she see humans as mere subjects to conquer. She recognized them as equals, fierce, clever, and worthy of respect. Their spirit was a force that could change the course of history. As she stood beneath the stars, surrounded by those she now called friends, Lyra felt a deep sense of purpose. The battle for Earth was more than a fight for survival. It was a testament to the strength found in unity and understanding. The Empire would face a new challenge, one born not just from weapons and warships, but from the unbreakable bond between different worlds. Lyra knew the road ahead would be difficult, but she was ready to walk it alongside humanity. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The power of the human spirit, combined with new allies, would light the way through the darkness. Together, they would forge a destiny no empire could deny. The battle had shifted, and with it came a fragile silence. Earth's skies, once streaked with the fiery trails of conflict, now held a tentative calm. In the aftermath, survivors gathered to rebuild what had been torn apart. Amidst the ruins, a new chapter began, one shaped by lessons learned in fire and shadow. Lyra stood at the edge of the recovering city, watching the humans labor with quiet determination. The people moved with purpose, clearing debris, repairing homes, and planting seeds for the future. Their actions spoke volumes. Hope was not just a word, but a force that moved them forward. This spirit, Lyra realized, was humanity's greatest power. News from the stars brought both relief and caution. The Empire's fleet had withdrawn, beaten back by an enemy it had underestimated. Commanders who once sneered at Earth's defenders now faced the bitter truth. Humans were not easily broken. The Empire's arrogance had cost them dearly, and their respect for humanity was born in defeat. At a gathering within the rebuilt town hall, leaders from across the planet met to discuss what lay ahead. Joren, standing among them, spoke with measured confidence. "We have fought hard, and we have won battles not just with weapons, but with our hearts. But the galaxy is vast, and threats remain." Mara, ever the healer, added, "Our wounds remind us of the price we pay, but also of the strength we carry inside. We must care for each other, for only together can we face what comes next." Lyra listened, her gaze steady. She had once been an observer, then a participant, and now a protector. The humans had taught her that power was not just force. It was resilience, compassion, and the willingness to stand for what mattered. The Empire, humbled by its losses, sent envoys seeking dialogue. Lyra advocated for peace, knowing that true strength came not from endless war, but from understanding. Her voice carried the weight of experience and a hope for a future where different worlds could coexist. Some within the Empire resisted, unwilling to admit defeat. Others saw in Lyra's words a path to change. Discussions began, tentative yet sincere, laying groundwork for alliances once thought impossible. On Earth, preparations shifted from defense to diplomacy. Humans reached out beyond their borders, eager to share their story and learn from others. Their journey from a scattered, vulnerable species to a force that commanded respect was a testament to endurance and unity. Children played in fields once scarred by battle, their laughter weaving new memories. Artists painted scenes of courage. Leaders spoke of cooperation, and communities embraced a vision of peace. Lyra walked among the people, feeling a deep connection. She saw not just survivors but pioneers of a new era. Their power lay in their ability to rise again, to build bridges where walls had stood. At night, under a blanket of stars, Lyra reflected on the journey. From a princess wary of humans to a champion of their cause, her path had been transformed by the very spirit she sought to understand. The galaxy was changing. Old empires faced new realities, and humanity stood at the heart of this shift. Their story was a beacon, illuminating the possibilities born from courage and hope. Lyra knew challenges remained. The road ahead was uncertain, and peace required vigilance. Yet she was confident that with unity and respect, a future of shared prosperity was within reach. As dawn broke, casting warm light over the earth and sky, Lyra made a silent promise. She would carry the story of humanity's power wherever she went. A story of resilience, strength, and the unyielding will to protect what is precious. The stars above twinkled with quiet promise. In their glow, Lyra saw the faces of countless worlds, some wary, some hopeful. And at the center of it all, humanity shone brightly, a force not to be ignored. The war had ended, but the journey continued. Together, humans and their allies would write the next chapter, one of peace forged, through understanding and power born from the heart.